Welcome to the Soul Health Mentor podcast with Nadia Kraus. Learn how to move your awareness out of your mind and into your heart so you can embody your divinity, experience joyous peace of mind, and create your most vibrant life by opening to receive your soul's sacred medicine.
Hello, beautiful soul. Hello, strong heart. Hey, brilliant listener. Welcome back to Soul Health Mentor Podcast. I am so happy and grateful that you are here listening. Today we have a big topic to finish a big week. It truly has been a big week here at Soul Health Mentor because we had our very first springtime kickoff, bringing in season 2, Soul Health Mentor 2.0. And I wanted to make sure to celebrate this bigger week with you by talking about another big topic. Because all week long this past week, we had amazing guests and really meaningful topics. I started us off by talking about what happiness is and what it's not. Then we had John Verbrugge on the show, and he was talking about the key to joyous living, and it's all about the woo-woo. So we kind of got to define and redefine what woo-woo is and what the scientific community and the religious community sometimes, negates and looks down on. And then we talked to Lucinda Ray all about purposeful calling and shining your light in the world and the power of archetypes. Hot holy visibility, we talked about that too. And with Manisha Tara, we talked about the nervous system and things such as what does it mean when we talk about fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. And then I ended our kickoff with talking about our true nature joy, but that actually takes facing our shadow to liberate our light. So you can see how it's been such a big week, and it's just perfect to continue with this bigness. So let's talk about the secret of life and what that might possibly be. You see, I did this kickoff event because I wanted to make sure to start the springtime with a bang, but also to give our year together a theme. And this year, Soul Health Mentor is launching Self-Love Leadership. And what better way to talk about the secret of life than talking about self-love leadership, what it means, and sharing a beautiful, beautiful poem with you. It was a poem that was shared by Charlie Chaplin on his 70th birthday, and it's called the Self-Love Poem. And at 70, we've accumulated a lot of wisdom, hopefully, and learned a lot of lessons. And when I read that poem for the very first time, I was moved because embodying the wisdom in the poem is a kind of secret sauce to life. And now we obviously have to define what life means to us. Someone that is soul-led and heart-centered, life needs to be happy, fulfilled, meaningful, on purpose, helpful, cooperative, harmonious, joyous, peaceful, vibrant, alive, all those things. It's not necessarily the secret of life is going to be something different for every person. But right here in this space, those are the qualities. That is the essence of out of your mind and into your heart wisdom, of embodying your divinity, creating your most vibrant life experience possible. And what better foundation to build it on than self-love leadership. So I'm going to present you with the poem. It has 10 little paragraphs, and then I'm going to share my experience of each paragraph with you. And then you can feel into it. You can feel if this secret sauce of life speaks to you. And what's so beautiful about soul and soulful essence is that it's simple. It's the ego, it's the rational mind, it's the conditioned mind, it's the monkey mind that makes the secret of life really complicated. Like we have to establish certain things and we have to reach certain milestones in our life and we have to hustle and it's never enough. But that is truly not the secret of life. It is all about heart and soul, baby. Right here at Soul Health Mentor, it's all about heart and soul because where does our humanity go without a heart and soul? And then it's heart and soul and abundance, heart and soul and happiness, heart and soul and money, heart and soul and prosperity. You get the drift, right? So let me begin. The self-love poem by Charlie Chaplin, shared on his 70th birthday. As I began to love myself, I found that anguish and emotional suffering are only warning signs that I was living against my own truth. Today I know this is authenticity. Now, this is a big one because think about it. We are not taught to be ourselves. We are taught to be everybody but ourselves from a very young age. And by the time we're adults, we might not even know who we are. We might not even know what our truth is. So how can we be authentic if we don't know who we are, if we don't know what our truth is? The first step is to start discovering ourselves, to start discovering ourselves via our heart space. How do I feel? What do I need? Do I need support? That can be a starting point. And from that starting point in knowing your needs, your values, your standards, and what you require, this truth, this why are you, what is important to you, will unfold. As I began to love myself, I understood how much it can offend somebody as I tried to force my desires on this person, even though I knew the time was not right and the person was not ready. This person was not ready for it, even though this person was me. Today I call it respect. So it starts with us. If we don't respect ourselves, if we are allowing our monkey mind, our conditioned mind, our inner bully to bully us all the time into shoulds and musts and have tos, and if you don't do this, then you're just not good enough, whatever your internal self-talk is, it's about catching it and respecting ourselves, treating ourselves with gentleness and kindness, just like we would want our inner child to be treated. So that's where this parenting, becoming your ideal parent, mother and father, starts. You start talking to yourself in the way you had hoped to have received it when you were a child. And that's where you start developing that respect for yourself. And when you develop that respect for yourself, then you have that respect for others. And then this ego power struggle that often happens in relationships stops. You can't make anybody do anything they don't want to do. And it becomes a way more loving and harmonious coexistence when you allow everybody their truth. Everybody has different needs, values, standards, and requirements, and that's okay. As I began to love myself, I stopped craving for a different life, and I could see that everything that surrounded me was inviting me to grow. Today I call it maturity. Personally, I'm like, what's the point of life if I'm not continuously growing and expanding and boldly going where I've never gone before, transforming into a new version of me? That is my explorer spirit. I've always been that, and I invite you to do the same. It's exciting. It's exciting to grow and expand and to face your fears, to grow beyond them, and to learn new things, to meet new people, to meet yourself in a new way, to develop, to become someone new. Next level. That's why I called it Soul Health Mentor 2.0. That's the next level of me. And I invite you into this beautiful space of growing, because growing will help you with emotional maturity, personal maturity, spiritual maturity, mental maturity, maturity in your relationships. It's just so worth it. As I began to love myself, I understood that at any circumstance I am in the right place at the right time, and everything happens at exactly the right moment, so I could be calm. Today I call it self-confidence. And here I want to share with you that the German word self-confidence is Selbst, which is self, and Vertrauen, which actually means trust. So the German word for self-confidence is self-trust. And that's exactly that. It's self-trust that gives you self-confidence. So I'm going to read that one again. As I began to love myself, I understood that at any circumstance I'm in the right place at the right time, and everything happens at exactly the right moment, so I could be calm. Today I call it self-confidence. You can trust yourself to have everything you need at the right time in the place that you are. And the more you develop this inner relationship with yourself through out of your mind and into your heart wisdom, the more self-confident and self-trusting you become. It's a beautiful journey to watch yourself grow and expand in this way. And it's very peaceful. It really is. There can be chaos around you. There can be drama around you. When you come back to self-love, into your center, and to knowing that you have everything you need and you can trust yourself, you can trust your life, you will be shown the next step. There's so much peace to that way of being. As I began to love myself, I quit stealing my own time, and I stopped designing huge projects for the future. Today I only do what brings me joy and happiness, things I love to do and that make my heart cheer, and I do them in my own way and in my own rhythm. Today I call it simplicity. Simplicity is really such a beautiful thing. How do I feel? What do I need? Do I need support? As your foundation for simplicity. How do I feel? What do I need? Do I need support? And then I like to do something called 3-task focus with 1 task finishing. So I don't focus on more than 3 things at a time. And then I focus on one thing at a time to finish it. And then if I get stuck on that one thing, I will move to the next. But when I'm doing the one thing, I'm doing the one thing. I am not multitasking. That's me. As I began to love myself, I freed myself of anything that is not good for my health. Food, people, things, situations, and everything that drew me down and away from myself. At first I called this attitude a healthy egoism. Today I know it is love of oneself. And I call that action self-love leadership. As you free yourself from anything that is not good for you or your health, your heart, your soul, your body, your mind, your spirit, be it food, be it people, be it things, situations, and everything that drags you down. I also like to call that lifestyle surgery. That is an act of self-love leadership and is most definitely love of oneself. But in that act of loving yourself, you become more loving towards others. And the grudge you hold towards others when you don't give yourself what you require, desire, and deserve, that grudge actually disappears because you give yourself what you require, desire, and deserve. As I began to love myself, I quit trying to always be right. And ever since I was wrong, less of the time. Today I discovered that is modesty. So it's not about being right or wrong. There's no such thing. When you talk about personal truth, subjective truth, then there's no such thing as right or wrong. We all have different values, standards, requirements, and needs. There are objective truths like the sky is blue and water is wet. But the way you subjectively experience that, it depends on you. Two people could be looking at this beautiful, radiant blue sky with sun shining, and one person is basking in the beauty of it all, and the other person is stuck in a story of depression and sadness and grief, and will view that same blue sky with radiant sun completely different. That is what subjective personal truth is. So, what's the point of arguing with someone? What is the point of arguing with someone and trying to be right when there is no such thing? We can surround ourselves with the people that bring out the best in us. That is part of lifestyle surgery. I'm not going to hang out with people that do not have the same values that I have, that don't have completely opposite needs and requirements and standards that I have. That just clashes. That makes no sense. I'm not going to hang out with people like that. But I'm not going to disrespect them by making them wrong. I'm just going to remove myself from the situation. As I began to love myself, I refused to go on living in the past and worry about the future. Now I only live for the moment where everything is happening. Today I live each day, day by day, and call it fulfillment. I actually call that day to day, moment to moment, that feeling of fulfillment, I call it deeply satisfied contentment in the now moment. And I often find that most when I start my day with a sacred morning ritual, when I start my day with me energy, before I have to run off and do all the things that we all do in our days, then I'm centered and anchored into this deliciously satisfying moment of silence and affirmation of my dreams and desires and needs, and visualization of what I'm requiring and desiring to manifest, and heartfelt gratitude, and reading something that inspires me in the morning. That makes my mornings sacred and gives me so much fulfillment throughout my days. As I began to love myself, I recognized that my mind can disturb me and it can make me sick. But as I connected it to my heart, my mind became a valuable ally. Today I call this connection wisdom of the heart. Yeah, that's what we're doing here. Out of your mind and into your heart, wisdom. When we get out of that monkey mind that can make us sick, most definitely, and we get into that heart space, we not just access soul and soul desires and heart's wishes, we also access the wisdom of the heart. We no longer need to fear arguments, confrontations, or any kind of problems with ourselves or others. Even stars collide, and out of their crashing, new worlds are born. Today I know that is life. And in this way of self-love, and on this path of self-love leadership, not only do we develop this absolute beautiful self-trust in ourselves, but also in life, and the infinite intelligence that guides life, and we open up to the mystery of life, and we might start feeling. I'm going to share a soul power mantra with you, a soul power mantra of mine. We might even feel either the I am statement. I'm going to say that first. I am in sync with my incredible life, experiencing miracles. And if we're not there yet, that's okay. Then we can say, show me my incredible life. Show me how to be in sync with it, experiencing miracles. And that is the power of self-love leadership. And that, in my world, is the secret to life. Thank you so much for being here, and I will talk to you next week. I just realized I forgot to tell you before I head out. If you missed our kickoff, not a problem. Go visit soulhealthmentor.com, top button on the left, episode 68. Go to the show notes, and you will see that I've linked the kickoff page. I've linked the self-love leadership timeline and all the topics we'll be talking about. And I even show you how to download the Podbean app, because I would really love it if we started a conversation. If you want to share ahas with me during the time you spend with me here listening to this podcast, please do so. If you have questions, if you have ideas for podcasts, if you want me to talk about a very specific thing, let me know. And I really do love engaging with you in that way. I love receiving comments via the Podbean app. Of course, also on my social media. But the Podbean app is just perfect for it. And I'm a very social being by nature. So that just would be so wonderful to see you there, speaking with me, talking to me, engaging with me, asking questions, and sharing your insights and ahas. Until next time.
Thank you for listening to the Soul Health Mentor podcast with Nadia Kraus. If you like what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and review at Apple Podcasts or wherever podcasts are playing.